Welcome to Making Sales Simple, podcast by Helen T-Bay, the sales lady. So, first podcast, and what I thought I would do is cover a topic that has been coming up so much over the last couple of months, and it's the reasons that I hear that business owners give me as to why they are not making the money that they want. So here it goes. Let's dive into them, and I will share my insight as to what you can do instead, so that you can keep making that consistent money in your business, because consistency is key. What I hear happening so much is that, it's good one month, it's bad another. I get really busy, so I stop doing stuff. Then I get, the fear of where's the next client coming from. So we really want the consistency of the money coming through. And there's 6 things that I'm hearing that stop people from doing that. So here it goes. So the first thing is people flip-flop on strategy. Well, what do I mean by that? You might have a particular offering, and what we're doing is we're not giving it enough time to stick. We're not giving it enough time for people to really understand what it is that you do, how it helps them. And because we're not giving it enough time, we're then thinking, oh, it doesn't work. Yeah, I'm not seeing a result. I'll move on to something else. I'll go and make another product. I'll go and launch something else. So we end up with this plethora of offerings, and nothing really sticks with your potential client because it's not really what they're looking for. So too many offerings, or doing one thing, then doing something else, and just not giving it enough time to implement and stick. So that's the first thing that I hear happening. And what I would suggest to you is go back to basics. What is it that your client wants the most, that they will pay money for today? They are on the internet searching for this. They are asking their peers, their fellow business owners, what do you make of this? What would you do? Have you had this happen before? Do you know anyone? And so they're searching for the answer to this. So just go back to what I call the 1-1-1. One client with one problem, one solution that you offer that gives one result that they want the most. That's it. It's as basic as we need to go. When we start sexing it up and putting, but we need a value proposition ladder and people can enter in at every point. If you're in your first year of business, just stop. Just go back to basics and get really good at selling one thing, and then you can introduce a second thing and so forth. But one offering, that's it. And give it time to land with your audience, because remember, you've been thinking about it on repeat 24/7, day in, day out. But your audience hasn't had all that thought about it. So they're fresh. They don't have all that kind of thought baggage that you've got about it. So they're hearing it for the first time, and then we're like, oh yeah, a couple of weeks has gone by, I've done a few posts, nothing's happened, I'll move on and change it. And it's just not enough for them to even think about what you do and start to realise how that can help them with a problem that they've got. So for your audience's sake, they need a little bit more time as well. They need time to catch up. The second thing that I hear that happens is not setting a revenue goal, a money goal. And even the word money, when I talk about this to my clients, they do start getting a little bit uncomfortable at times. It sounds really obvious. How can you have a business that you operate and you don't know how much money you need to be making? But it can be a real thing. And I hear the number one reason people don't set a money goal is because it's not the main motivator. They have set their business up for purpose. They've set their business up to make more impact. They've set their business up to just pay the bills. And so, of course, setting a money goal and really firming that up feels very heavy and pressurized. So what I would say to take the pressure off, if you think about money, the money you make in your business, the revenue you make is a direct impact, a direct correlation. There is a direct dotted line from money made to impact created. So switch it. Yeah, the money is a direct result of how much impact you want to make. So how much impact do you want to make in the world? Change it so that it's more purpose driven. It's more in line with you, but we cannot not set a money goal. because it's a bit like a North Star. You know, like, are we making the money we need for the business to succeed? Are we making enough money for you to have a fun pot with? And like, everybody needs a fun pot, you know, otherwise it's just work, you know. What are you going to go and do that's something really fun? Is it another holiday? Is it like just a bit of tech that you wanted to buy, a new phone? What is it? You've made that money through value that you've created, impact. So, you know, it's about learning to enjoy that. And money is energy, so it needs to have a focus. So are we saving some of it? Are we spending some of it? Are we having fun with some of it? Are we investing it back into the business? And you can't answer any of that if we haven't got a goal in mind, a figure of how much you want to make. So we need to just clean up that thinking around not setting a money goal. So before I go into the third one, how are we doing? Is that sort of rung true? Have you done that yourself? Do you know people who've done that? I know people who flip-flopped on strategy, the first one, and I really struggle to know what they do. And so I've messaged them and said, sorry, what is it you're doing now? You know, so like when you do actually get these moments where you're like, that's not clear, it can be really helpful to help your network as well, and just feed back what it is that you're seeing as a prospective person on the other side of it. And by the way, I've done all of these things. There is no judgment for me. I have done them all before. We'll probably do some of them again. The difference is I can catch it now, and I know what's happening. So this is why I'm sharing it with you guys, so that you can catch it and start doing something different, so you can continue to make more consistent money. So the third thing is fearing failure and or fearing success. And so let's do failure first. The doing things that you're really good at, that you've learnt your craft, that you're really confident with, you're super knowledgeable about, is fine, but only to a certain point. If you're not prepared to learn or fail or get things wrong or just have a go at something through fear of looking stupid or silly or not being the expert, that's what's going to stop you from growing. And when we look at making more money, we're going to have to think and do something different to what we've already done. And pushing yourself out from comfort into stretch, I'm going to just put this out there, you're probably going to get it wrong. I mean, think of it as learning a new language or a new sport. How often do you just pick a Spanish dictionary up and just go, oh yeah, right, I'm fluent now, I can just have a full-on conversation in Spanish? Just doesn't happen. So why do we think that it should be happening in business? It's just a set of unrealistic expectations that we put on ourselves. And it's about your ability to drive through these uncomfortable moments where you're learning, just like what I'm doing now. This is the first episode of the podcast. Tom's here. Tom's doing an amazing job in like keeping things going. But this is the first time I've ever done this. This is a bit scary for me. And so it stopped me from doing this for about 3 months. I've been talking about it. And in the end, when I made the decision of, do you know what? I'm not going to be scared of this. This is going to help people. It's a different format, different way of people hearing this. My mission is to help people see something different in sales. I am stopping that from happening through my fear of getting it wrong and messing it up. Tom's here. He's not going to let that happen. Or hopefully he's not going to. Will you, Tom?
No, I've got you.
You got me. But, you know, like that fear of failure is massive. That's what stops you. That's, I'd say, one of the most fundamental reasons why you're not making the money that you want. You might even be scared of what that looks like. What is the person who makes 10k months, who makes 20k months, who makes their 2k months into 5k months? What do I do then? And when you're only looking at it like that, it's really going to stop you from moving forward. Looking at the fear of success, I couldn't understand this. When I first started coaching, I remember coaching a lady and she said, I'm so scared of succeeding. I was so curious. I was like, I don't really understand that. What does that mean? And she said, I'm scared I'm not going to be able to replicate it. So if I say you make it, I can't quite remember the figures, but like a 10k month, what if I never make another 10k month again? I'm like, yeah, what if that happens? Because you're going to have fluctuations in your finances. I've just gone through this where I've had a dip, then I've had a peak, then I've had a little dip again, and the troughs are getting higher, the peaks are getting higher, and it just feels like there's a little bit more pressure. But that's not coming from anywhere else other than me and my thoughts on it. And all that's happening is that I'm making a set of criteria for me, just say the money that's coming in every month means something about me, means something about the success of my business. And so how you talk about your business is everything. So it's already a success right now. And I really want you to hear me. If you are just on the start of your journey, if you're just starting to make your first set of money, I promise you it's going to get so much easier, but your business is a success right now. If it's not making any money, you've launched your business. You've made like the hardest decision ever. So how you talk about it is massive. So it doesn't matter what money's in the bank. It doesn't matter about your criteria. It's how you engage with success or failure. And one of the things that stops us from that growth is only doing the things that you're good at, or only seeing certain things in a certain way and then attaching a meaning to it. It literally doesn't mean anything. I've just come out of this myself, and so anybody that's struggling with that, I'd urge you to book a consultation call with me. We can talk about that. We can talk about how that's showing up in your business right now. The fourth thing is beliefs about making money. What I mean by that is thinking that it's going to require something of you that you don't want to give or can't give. For example, effort, time, status, ego. Get a lot of business owners that are like, I don't want to admit I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to admit that I've not got my shit together. None of us have got our shit together. We're all just trying to get through it, so it's fine. But the thought that it's going to have to give more than what I can give, you just then don't do it. For example, I have thought for 20 years, 2 decades, I have not got time to exercise. And I got really ill last year, and it was a mind shift for me of like, there's only me, nobody's coming to save me. I could hire a PT, he could show up, he could drag me out of bed, but I've still got to put the effort in. If I want to, why am I not putting myself first? And I didn't like my reasons at all. So I'm like, now we're going to create time to do the things that matter, like exercise. That is a non-negotiable. That is in my diary before any client work goes in. And that is a huge mindset shift. But I think one of the common ones that comes up is people think they don't have the time or the energy to give to this. I'm only going to invest in making more money or like hiring a coach or a business advisor or a mentor if I've got the time and the energy. And actually, you probably don't need more time. You just need to be using it in a different way. So for example, if your capacity and your stress capacity is huge, and you're overthinking stuff and you're spending so much time thinking about doing stuff, not knowing how to post. What am I going to say? How do I start a post off? How do I end it? What do I say then? What about a picture that goes with it? Oh my God, how much time does that burn when we could just take our best guess, get it out there, and then learn from that and get the data from what that showed you. So you don't often need more time, you just need someone to help you utilize it more. And what I find is when people start working with me, they get more time back. So I have to give an hour when you're time poor. Yes, you will. But imagine if that hour cleans up so much of the overthinking and gives the clarity, and then you just go and start taking really deliberate actions in your business. How much more money do you think you'd make from that? And I'll tell you now as a spoiler alert, more. The graph would go up. So we'll tidy up beliefs that you've got about money and making money and what it's going to take from you. The fifth reason that you're not making the money that you want is you're not getting visible. People are not seeing you. And being visible can feel a little bit vulnerable, a bit scary. We're hardwired to stay safe, by the way. So this is like your 20 million year old brain at play here. It's like that pack mentality. Don't go out the pack. Don't go and do anything like renegade over there. You might get kicked out. Then you probably wouldn't last very long 2 million years ago. It was very much like pack mentality. So our brain is hardwired to look at risk, to look at what might go wrong. And so it's our job, and this is one of the skills that I teach, to shift that to go, okay, right? That's fine. But what might also go really well, and what might be the benefits of you actually putting yourself out there and more people seeing you. So we're just rewiring some of the hardwired stuff that's just going to stay there, but we're going to entertain some new thoughts about getting visible. What normally happens is people feel it's really challenging, and so they don't do the things required to get found by clients. And then they'll say, I just need more leads. I can't find clients. I just don't know where they are. They are all around us. They live next door to us. They go to school, at the school drop off. They're in the library. They're in the supermarket. They are everywhere. And our job on the reg as business owners is to get visible. So it's just about taking those baby steps into making the start of it. And I've just had one client that's gone through this. She has just absolutely done the effort and put the work in, and she now is like, I can put posts together, I can even put different pictures on there, and it's okay. And actually my worst case scenario just hasn't happened. And what she has seen as a byproduct of becoming visible is she makes quicker decisions. She gets on with stuff, like she doesn't overthink. She posts without overthinking. She's had more engagement on her posts. People are now commenting and asking questions. And she's even got some inquiries from that as well. So some people have come out and come forward and said, actually, maybe it's something that you could help me with. That would not have happened if she'd have stayed scared. So yeah, being visible, sometimes it's scary, but it's part of making money. People have got to see you. You've got to be doing the things required to get found. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to find you. You're going to be hiding and they're going to be searching. And the final point is we are not making offers. We are not selling. And I know this sounds really simple, but we need to be asking for people, do you want some help with that? Do you want me to have a conversation with you about that? Would you like to book in some time to talk about that? They can always say no. We're not pressurizing them. But if you think about it from the flip side, if someone's just said they're struggling with something and that's your expertise, what if you don't offer? What if you don't put your offer forward? How is that going to appear for them? And making offers and selling is not something that you are born with. I get this a lot, like, oh yeah, but I don't have the gift of the gab, or yeah, but I'm just naturally introverted. I don't have the extrovert. I can't just go out and speak to people. It is literally just a thought. It's not a gift that someone's given. It's not something you're born with. It's a set of skills that you practice, just like a new sport, just like a new language. And it will be met by failure, it will be met by learning, it will be met by challenges, but you're also going to get so successful at it. And it's the art of that, it's the skill of being able to put your offer forward, explain it in a way that translates your words into what your clients are wanting to hear and see, and then being able to follow that process through, supporting them to a decision. And the selling side of things is so important that we get that in our heads, that we're not going to put people up against a wall. It's not our job to twist their arms. It's not our job to make them buy. Our job is just to guide them to a decision. That's it. We hope that we've done enough for them to say yes. But again, people have choice and we never want to remove that. So we're just going to get them to a firm decision. That's it. That's your job. And we explore as we go along. So that has been our first ever podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And if you've got any questions, this has resonated, I'm quite active on LinkedIn. So drop me a message on LinkedIn. If you've got any questions or you want some support with this and you wonder how sales coaching could help you fix some of these points, you might have been nodding along throughout all of them and all 6 are resonating. There might be 1 or 2 that have really floated up for you. You can reach me primarily on LinkedIn. You can send me a direct message and we can have a conversation about what's going on. But stay tuned here for the next podcast, which will be out next month. Thank you for listening to Making Sales Simple, a podcast by Helen Tebay, the sales lady. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow me on Spotify for more.